Welcome to Chef Tips UK with me, Chef Ricky. If you're brand new here, hit that subscribe button. You know what to do, folks. Today we are doing Oreo Tart. So I've got loads of ingredients here. I've prepped quite a fair few bits. I'll just break down how I've done it. It's pretty simple. I'm going to give a shout out to a guy on the guild in my little mobile Star Wars game. It was 40 yesterday, so this is dedicated to him. His name's Webb. So, Oreo Tart. I'm not actually using Oreos because they're so expensive. I'm using like the 20p equivalent. So you can use Oreos if you want. I'm using a cheaper, they taste exactly the same. So, and I've got 3 154 gram packets in here. And all I've done is blitz them up in a food processor till the crumbs. Just like you would if you use blitzing biscuits for a cheesecake. So that was 154, what's that? Right, so 10 minutes later, we've discussed, we've got the calculators on the phone, it's 462 grams. As you can tell, we're extremely smart here. So 462 grams of processed biscuits, Oreo, or a cheaper equivalent version. I've got 100 grams of butter. I've just melted it down in the microwave. That's just going to go straight into there. 100 grams seems like quite a lot, but we're going to make sort of like a tart base with this, rather than say use pastry. So we're basically making an Oreo tart case. Oh, it's banging. So all we're going to do is mix that butter in there just till it's all incorporated. Don't take long, just a little mix round, and this is just going to help it really stick together. Cheesecake ring, you need a cheesecake ring. Mine's quite high, so I'm not actually going to do till the very top with biscuit. So this is probably the most trickiest bit. This is a no bake, no oven job, really simple, but this is the trickiest bit, because what we're going to do is I've tested a few different ways of doing this, and I found the easiest way was literally just to get the mix into the cheesecake, and then all you want to do is press it up the sides. I mean, you're probably not going to get a great view of this. I mean, I don't know if the cameraman wants to bring the camera over here, get stuck in here, and see what I'm doing. So I'm just sort of pressing it at the sides, and basically you're going to spend about 10 minutes just evening it all out. So you want to make sure all the bottom's covered, and you want to just keep pressing, and you want it to be as thin as possible, really. Get your fingers in there. You kind of need to get your fingers in there for this one. So if you're scared of touching biscuits, this probably ain't the best thing for you to make. And just keep going round. And like I said, you will have to spend a good 10-15 minutes just making sure this is all really nice. You're not going to get it perfect. If you've got a shorter cheesecake ring, then that'll be ideal, because you can sort of gauge it on that. Right, so once you've done that, something like this, obviously it's probably going to be quite hard to tell because they're both quite dark, the ring and the biscuits. And then all we're going to do is bang that in the fridge. Right, so once your tart case, biscuit base, whatever you want to call it, is in the fridge, we're going to work on making the filling. And this is kind of just like a cheesecake filling. It's pretty much an Oreo cheesecake, but it's a tart. I'm calling it a tart because it sounds nice. Right, so we've got some basic ingredients here. I've got 600 grams of cream cheese and an electric whisk. You can whisk by hand if you want, but I don't like doing that. So all I'm going to do is just whisk this up, just to make cream cheese a bit more pliable. It's been left out for about 30 minutes, so all I've done is straight away, because it's not quite cold, it's sort of like room temperature, straight away Look at that, it's gone nice and smooth. You don't want it to be lumpy. So, to our 600 grams of cream cheese, I've got the seeds of 2 vanilla pods in here. Now all I've done is just split them in half, scrape the seeds out. If you watch my custard video, I did it in that. You can use a little drop of vanilla essence if you prefer, or some nice vanilla paste. I've used that before. Today I thought I'd go with just some vanilla pods. Give that a little whirl. I've got 50 grams of icing sugar here. Just going to drop that in. That's just going to sweeten the cream cheese up. We don't need to use too much because we're going to add some Oreos to this, which is going to make it sweet anyway. So we're just going to slowly blitz that in. It's going to help thicken the mixture as well. Just going to mix that in for a couple of seconds. And then you should have something that looks like this. Starting to look quite cheesecakey. I've got some of my cheap Oreos here, and all I've done is break these up with my hand. I've not blitzed them or anything, and I'm going to add them in there, and then I'm just going to, rather than whisk them, because it's going to be whisked a little later, I'm just going to stir them in. Just like so. And then you have something that looks Oreo-y, cheesecakey, summity. And then to this, we're going to add 150 millilitres of double cream. Now I'm not going to bother whisking this up. I'm going to add it in and then I'm going to whisk it into the mixture. I've just whisked that for about 30 seconds. And it's come to this sort of consistency. That's what we want, just so it holds. So then, we've got a nice cheesecake mixture, or Oreo tart filling, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to add that to the tart case. Right, so, I'm just going to bash that spoon off. I'm going to keep it, and then all I'm going to do is to this tart case, I'm just going to add this filling. You don't want it to the very top of the tart case, because we're going to add a nice dark chocolate ganache, just to cut through all the sweetness. The girlfriend who's currently recording is eyeing up that bowl, so I'm going to try and scrape as much out the bowl as humanly possible, because I'm nice like that. And then with the spoon, I'm just going to go around the outsides and just make sure it's all nice and in. And I'm just sort of like tapping it away from the tart case. Right, so once your tart case is got all filled, it should look something like this. Looks lovely. So that goes back in the fridge. And we want to leave that in the fridge, ideally, for about an hour, just to chill up and firm up a bit. Standard tree procedures as well. We need to try a bit of the mixture. That's really nice. If you've got a girlfriend, don't let her have any. Right, so our Oreo tart has been in the fridge for almost an hour now. So we're going to start on another component to it, and that's a ganache. So I've got in here 150 millilitres of double cream, and I'm just going to put that on the heat, and I'm just going to start heating that through. I've got it on sort of medium high. I've got 150 grams of dark chocolate here. It's just going to help cut through the sweetness with a bit of bitter note. Right, so this cream's been on for about a minute. It's just started to come up to the boil. That's all you want. You don't want it to be really, really hot. Right, so then all we're going to do is take the cream, add it to the chocolate, and then we're just going to slowly whisk it in. It'll take about 30 seconds. The chocolate will just start melting, and it will just come together, and a nice little chocolate ganache. Right, so once you've mixed it all in and all the chocolate's melted, you will left with this really nice thick chocolate ganache. Now this is where you got to kind of just work a little bit quick. What you want to do is you don't want it to be too hot, because if it's too hot it'll melt the filling, the tart filling, but if it's too cold it'll set. So we're going to leave that to the side. Get out our tart, and that's still a bit warm. Right, so all I've been doing is just working this ganache just so it cools down a bit, and then I'm just going to take a spoon and start layering it onto the cheesecake, onto the tart. Just being really careful. Right, so once you've ganached up, you should have something that looks just like this. You've covered the whole tart with the ganache so you can't see any filling. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to place one of my Oreo alternatives in the middle, just for a bit of presentation. And I've got another 154 gram packet, minus one biscuit, just loosely broke up. And I'm just going to, you can, if you want, sort of just use whole biscuits here, but I kind of like them when they're broken up a little bit. And I'm just going to spread them round the outside of the tart. And it don't matter if they're all different sizes, just adds a bit of texture to it, and then you should be left with something that looks like that. And then all we're going to do is bang that in the fridge for another hour just to chill down. With Valentine's Day fast approaching, this would be a perfect time to get in the kitchen and cook that person you love something nice. I've already done it for the missus, so that's cleared me completely for Valentine's Day, which I'm thrilled about because I hate it. So we're just going to keep this in the fridge. But yeah, Valentine's Day, perfect idea. In the fridge for an hour. Right, so the tart's been in the fridge for about an hour. It's all looking quite firmed up. Now hopefully my cheesecake base, my cheesecake ring thing, I've not greased it around because it normally works pretty well. So we're going to see how well it works. Right, so I've took the ring off, the outside off, so I'm gonna give it a cut. It's gonna that biscuit in the middle is making it really difficult. I'm just gonna move that slightly and cut into that, cut into it again, and then we'll just, first slice is always the hardest, and then look at that. So there's only one thing left to do really, ain't there? As always on this channel, we have to give it a try to make sure it's nice. Oh. So there you have it guys, Oreo tart, really easy. Make it for someone you love this Valentine's Day. The video is going to be up in time, so check it out. Let me know how you get on with it. Drop me your pictures onto Chef Tips UK, Facebook or Twitter. Until next time guys, I'll see you later. And I've been really nice. I've left my girlfriend a slice. See you later.